The day before her federal contempt of court hearing, the Rowan County clerk is still refusing to issue marriage licenses.
A Jackson County man was shot and killed yesterday, but no charges have been filed. We'll have the latest details.
Steamy conditions across the Bluegrass State. Now we track a little bit of an increase in scattered storms. We got a few showing up on Defender just ahead.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4.
Welcome to WKYT News at 4. I'm Amber Philpott reporting. September is bringing the steam as humidity levels continue to climb. You are looking at a live picture now of downtown Lexington, and the increase in the stickiness factor is also giving us a better chance for some scattered storms in the coming days. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Amber. A lot of folks out and about this afternoon kind of sweating it out, mainly mid and upper 80s. Few folks trying to touch the 90-degree mark this afternoon into all of Central and Eastern Kentucky. That 88 is a magic number into parts of Eastern Kentucky. Notice Ashland, we are cooler here at 78. Why? Because we've had some rain this afternoon. Defender tracking some thunderstorms developing. Those are actually dropping from north to south as of right now. Some of those not too far away from downtown Moorhead, just to the northeast of Moorhead, right on top of the Carter and Rowan County line, just to the north of Interstate 64. That'll drop its way on in from north to south. Lexington Bluegrass region, not a whole lot going on as of right now, though. Look to our north around the Covington, Cincinnati area, a little clustering of some storms trying to pop there. So anyone is fair game for at least an isolated storm as the evening wears on. Temperatures similar to what we had last evening, mid 80s until sunset. Then it's a slow drop through the 70s with humidity levels that will continue to stay up as we go through the overnight hours. Now, when I come back, we'll focus on a forecast that includes scattered thunderstorms that increase on the hour-by-hour, Amber, and that includes part of the upcoming holiday weekend. We'll take you into that just ahead.
All right, Chris, thanks so much. It has been another day of protests and rallies outside the Rowan County Courthouse over the clerk's decision not to issue marriage licenses. The ACLU has filed a contempt of court claim against Kim Davis, and tomorrow Davis and her staff have been ordered to appear in federal court. WKYT's Victor Puente is outside the courthouse with more on the ongoing same-sex battle in Rowan County. It's our top story at 4.
Most of the protesters have packed up and gone home. There was a big crowd here earlier today when another couple tried to get a marriage license and was denied. The couple said they came from Columbus, Ohio to Rowan County because they have family connections in Kentucky. They were followed in by protesters who'd been outside the clerk's office. When they approached the counter, Kim Davis told them she wasn't issuing marriage licenses. That's when they started a back and forth that went on for several minutes.
Okay, you do not work in a religious institution. If you wish to discriminate, you can. If you wish to discriminate.
License today. I'm not discriminating because I'm not issuing a license to anybody. To anybody.
Davis stopped issuing marriage licenses in June after the Supreme Court made gay marriage legal nationwide. Tomorrow, her entire office will be in federal court for a hearing on a motion to find her in contempt. Robbie Blankenship says he and his partner of 20 years won't be leaving Rowan County until they're married.
And I want to do that recognized by the United States of America, by the state of Kentucky, and by this county.
ACLU attorneys filed that contempt of court motion against Davis yesterday after the Supreme Court refused to hear her appeal, and she continued to refuse to issue marriage licenses. In Rowan County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
That contempt of court hearing is scheduled for 11 tomorrow morning in Ashland. We have learned late this afternoon that Davis's legal team has filed a motion asking a federal judge for another delay in the case. The judge has not ruled on that motion just yet. Republican presidential hopeful Mike Huckabee supports Kim Davis's refusal to issue marriage licenses because of her opposition to same-sex marriage. In a statement, Huckabee says he talked with Kim Davis this morning to offer prayers and support. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul has also expressed support for Davis. Among other GOP rivals, Carly Fiorina and Lindsey Graham have said that she should comply with the law. Other Republican presidential candidates have steered clear of the matter. Still no charges in a deadly shooting in Jackson County. State police say 61-year-old Jackie Rose and another man got into an argument along Chestnut Flat Road near the Sand Gap area yesterday. We're told at some point the other man shot Rose. State police say they aren't exactly sure what led to the shooting, We're going to have an update on the investigation from Jackson County ahead on WKYT News at 4:30. Attorneys for a former preacher charged in a triple murder are asking a judge to keep talks he had with another minister out of the trial. Kenneth Allen Keith wants the judge to ban conversations he had with a Michigan clergyman from being used as evidence. According to the Herald Leader, his attorneys argue those conversations are private and shouldn't be heard by a jury. Keith is accused of killing Michael and Angela Hawkinsmith and Daniel Smith during a robbery in Danville back in 2013. Keith is due back in court next month. The judge has not set a date to consider the motion. We are working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us now from the newsroom with a look of some of the news in progress. Hello, Sam.
Good afternoon, Amber. This morning, a Stanford police officer accused in a deadly crash sat down with the mayor to discuss his future with the department. Back in January, Officer Travis Richardson was going 90 miles an hour when he hit Howard Robbins on US 150. The Interior Journal reports that Richardson was suspended without pay after the investigation. Richardson can appeal whatever decision the mayor makes. You'll hear from the victim's daughter, and we'll have more from the hearing coming up on WKYT News at 5 o'clock. Police arrested a man accused of pretending to be a police officer. Winchester police say that Colt Christopher had his wallet and phone stolen while with a prostitute. In order to get the items back, we're told he beat on her door and claimed to be a police officer. When an officer did show up, police say Christopher cursed at him, told him to go away, and then charged at him. Christopher was tased and then arrested. He's charged with impersonating an officer, menacing, disorderly conduct, and alcohol intoxication. We'll have more on WKYT News at 5:30. And what a weekend to come. The Wildcats kicking off the football season in just a couple of days, and there are big changes to know about if you're headed to the game this year. The changes are the result of all that construction work on both Alumni Drive and the stadium itself. UK and the city discussed the changes this afternoon, and we'll tell you everything you need to know ahead of Saturday night's game on WKYT News coming up at 5 o'clock. That's a quick look at some of the news in progress. Amber, back to you.
Sam, thank you. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. The investigation into the shooting death of an Illinois police officer takes a turn in its second day. Jamie Yukas is in Fox Lake with more on how police are trying to track down the 3 suspects.
I have a murdered colleague, police officer, and we're not going to stop.
Police in Fox Lake are going door to door looking for information that will help track down the 3 men accused of shooting Lieutenant Charles Joseph Glenowitz to death. They are also collecting surveillance video from homes and businesses in the area.
Now there's an evidentiary way of collecting that so it's not tainted down the road. So it is a little bit of a long process.
Officer Glenowitz was not able to provide dispatchers with a detailed description of the men he was chasing on foot before he was shot. He said 2 were white and 1 was black. While multiple police agencies follow up on dozens of leads, people in this town are coming to grips with their loss of an officer they affectionately called G.I. Joe.
He was a lot of everything to everybody. Everybody just was safe around Joe.
The lieutenant was well known within the small community. He was with the department for 3 decades and mentored young people who wanted to become officers.
Especially after things like this, it will definitely make me push myself more to become a police officer.
It doesn't make you a little nervous to see your hero?
Not at all. It makes me want to continue doing his important work and fulfilling his legacy. It truly does.
The 52-year-old leaves behind a wife and 4 sons. He was set to retire in 29 days. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Fox Lake, Illinois.
Well, there is a vigil for Officer Glenowitz tonight. Hundreds are expected to attend. In a speech that was broadcast live in Iran, Secretary of State John Kerry has told a Philadelphia audience that a defeat of the nuclear deal with Iran would be a blow to our nation's credibility and leadership. His speech came shortly after supporters of the deal got the Senate votes they would need to save the agreement from a resolution of disapproval. The 34 votes would uphold a presidential veto. In a letter delivered to Congress today, Kerry offered reassurances about Israel's security, pointing to the billions of dollars the U.S. has provided to Israel for missile defense and other security assistance. McDonald's wants to make it easier for customers to order from the chain's breakfast menu, the big change that's being planned coming up in Money Watch. And if you constantly use Google Maps to figure out where you're going, you can now use it to take a trip down memory lane. We'll explain how it works on WKYT News at 4.